Okay. Alright. Well, hi everybody. My name is Shayna Atek. I am a member of the class of 2023 at MIT. Um, I'm one of the student moderators and a tour guide for the MIT Minecraft project, which we are currently in. Let's see, I am also a mechanical engineering major, course 2A, and, well, we're here for a tour, I guess. So yeah, just a little bit of a brief overview. So the MIT Minecraft project is recreating our MIT campus on a Minecraft server. Whereas we're using a 1-to-1 scale of various Minecraft blocks equaling about a meter in real life on real life campus distance. All of this started when we were sent home from campus at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, and a few students had the idea to start up a Minecraft server so we could recreate campus and be able to show our campus to many of the incoming 2024 students and other curious visitors now that we would be sent away from our real life campus. So one of the other student moderators, Jeffrey, decided to set up a server on some of his old hardware. And another one of the moderators, Alex, decided to convert a maps image of all of campus into a 1-to-1 foundation plot so that way everyone could come join in and help build up the spaces that were so important to them. So, as to date, we've had 800 visitors, 250 people about contributing to building campus, and so many more people that have been really interested in this project. So now I'm here to give you a bit of a tour. So yeah, first, here we are at the spawn point in 77 Massachusetts Avenue, also known as the front door of MIT. This address is the address that is traditionally used for being the center of campus and leads into Lobby 7 or Building 7, which we'll be entering in a minute. Buildings at MIT, along with majors, also known as courses, all use numbers. As STEM students, we like to use numbers for a lot of things. So yeah, buildings, instead of being names, they are referred to by number. Yeah, here we are looking around in Lobby 7. So yeah, this being the front door to campus for everyone who has been involved with MIT has passed through here at some time. It's been recreated in detail by a lot of students that feel really passionately about passing through this space almost every day on their way to classes. Yeah, over here in the corner, we have a recreation of the MIT seal, which actually does exist in real life. This seal was given as a class donation, cast in, I think, brass on campus. Yeah, that's a really popular little figure for people to come see when they visit. Yeah, this includes the MIT logo, Mens et Manus, mind and hand. So the philosophy of learning while doing is really well captured in MIT's ethics and spirit. So yeah, here we'll be entering what's known as the Infinite Corridor, but before that, you might be wondering what these little structures of dispensers on top of end rods are. So this is another artifact of this project being created during pandemic times. As we were departing campus, there were these hand sanitizer stands, mostly consisting of Purell, that were popping up around campus. And in tribute to that, people created these little Purell dispensers as Easter egg tributes to that state of campus as we left it. So yeah, this is the Infinite Corridor. In real life, it's about 1/4 of a mile long, and thus not actually infinite, but it can certainly feel that way when you're trying to get to class. The walls are a little bare right now, but usually there would be flyers advertising for various clubs and programs and the like, adorning the walls of the corridor in between various offices, like our very own admissions office, recreated here. So yeah, here we are in Building 10. And if we step outside for a second, we'll be entering Killian Court, which is the view that most people get of MIT and the Great Dome. So yeah, from here, the MIT buildings are mostly in the single digits, flocking the left and right of Building 10 in front of us. Yeah, the ordering is a little bit strange for those visiting campus. If you reference a map, you'll find that the system generally includes odd numbers on the left and even numbers on the right of here, main campus. So yeah, here we are at the Great Dome. So yeah, a fun story about building this is that, oh, if I can get myself to fly. Yeah, when we were initially building up campus in order to be able to show to people fairly early on, I and another moderator were working on recreating the domes, since they were spherical shapes and harder to recreate with various blocks, and basically built everything up really quickly in order to make sure that we'd have one of the most overnight when we had just left everything for the night. Yeah, someone actually decided to recreate the famous MIT police car hack on top of the dome in here. So as you can see, there is a little sign that says "I break for donuts," and the "No permit for this location IHTFP license plates," all recreated in blocks. So yeah, this is in reference to the iconic police car on top of the dome hack way back in the 19-something. Yeah, and just a neat little tribute to a little bit of our history and hacking culture, so to say, of pulling various harmless pranks on different parts of campus, often with great engineering feat. This being, well, one of the most ambitious things we've engineered so far collectively. So yeah, walking back into Building 10, I want to take you up to the Barker Engineering Library. So this is what we've been using as an elevator shaft so far. Going up to the various levels. I think we're here. Yep. The entrance is on the left. So inside the underside of the dome is what's known as the Barker Engineering Library and Reading Room, which is a place that many students come to check out reference books or just find a really, really quiet place to chill out and study and read. I've taken many a nap here in the real-life reading room, but it's just really nice on the inside. And contains a skylight to the top of the Great Dome, as you can see here. So yeah, hold on. Whoops. Never mind, so we're now leaving through the roof. Up here. Able to get out through this little section here and see the outside world. So yeah, definitely a view you wouldn't get on a normal tour. As you can see in this side of things, we're not completely done with main campus yet, as this project is still a work in progress. The Infinite Corridor and many of the buildings surrounding it are mostly academic buildings, containing everything from mechanical engineering labs in the basement, a glass laboratory, spaces for the Department of Material Science and Engineering, Civil Engineering, Urban Planning, and more. Particularly here, there is a tribute to a piece of public art called the Bars of Color display, created by Solowit. We've recreated with very colorful Minecraft blocks. this is, I think, building 8 and 6C, roughly around the area, if you're following along on a map. A really nice piece of public art. So yeah, continuing down this way. No, wait, the other way. Oops. We're heading away from many of the academic cluster buildings. I think particularly buildings 6 and 8 were much of the physics departments, perhaps. Yeah. Yeah, so now we're heading into building 26, including the entrance to MIT Nano, which is currently in progress as it's been being built, and here we are. This is 26100, one of the largest buildings on campus. Not one of the largest buildings, one of the largest auditoriums on campus that many students have taken classes in, attended lectures in, and there is a student group called the Lecture Series Committee, LSC, that even shows movies on the weekends here. Over here is the Banana Lounge, or as it's recreated in Minecraft. The Banana Lounge is a student space that was created by the UA Innovation Committee in order to provide a undergraduate lounge that typically offers free bananas, nap spaces, study spaces, bean bags, books, and more to de-stress. I'm actually part of the UA Innovation Committee and have done many runs to help restock with bananas. Alright, so heading out here, now we're looking at the Stata building, or Stata, depending on who you ask. This is building 32, the Ray and Maria Stata building, of which houses MIT's Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence Laboratory, or CSAIL, where many parts of the Electrical Engineering and Computer Science department is hosted, along with various labs, including ones focusing on artificial intelligence, robotics, and more. Speaking of labs, one part of student life at MIT is the ability to participate in a UROP, or the Undergraduate Research Opportunities Program, in which students get the ability to work in various labs who need a undergraduate student for various different tasks, learn how to do research, contribute to some meaningful research, and more, which has been a really neat experience to take part in. Okay, cool. Yeah, so another angle on the Stata building, showing off some of the empty gaping holes in construction we have, as the architecture of the real-life Stata building is fairly complicated with lots of sloping angles and creative design. As one of the challenges of representing buildings like these in Minecraft has been in the various fun different styles of architecture that make up the MIT campus. Here we are, we're heading over to North Court, or as it's been recently renamed, Susan Hockfield Court. As you can see, there are still some parts of campus that need some building up, but this pattern of the court is supposed to indicate a crossroads of various different buildings at MIT, including right behind me, this triangular shaped building, Building 66, which houses much of the chemical engineering department. These buildings over here, which house, I think it's biology and brain and cognitive sciences, and the Stata Center, as mentioned before. Ignoring the horse there for some reason. We'll now be heading over here to the Green Building. So the Green Building is one of the tallest buildings in all of Cambridge. It used to be the tallest, because in part of a challenge to Cambridge City Building Code. The original architect, I think, what was it? I.M. Pei. saw that the original Cambridge Building Code insisted on a maximum number of floors rather than maximum height of a building. So, in retaliation, he put the entire building on stilts and made all of the floors exceptionally long, creating this very, very tall building that hosts the Earth Atmospheric Planetary Sciences Department. Yes. Yeah, as you can see, some of the windows are tinted a little bit. This is in reference to a old hack in which LED lights were installed into all of the windows of the green building, and you could play Tetris by moving the various colored block lights throughout. This is a really neat programming bit. We originally had some ideas to recreate this in redstone, but for now we just have a little stained glass. Going on top of the green building, which is another fun thing we can do because this is Minecraft campus. You can see that there is representations of a lot of atmospheric planetary monitoring equipment and pumpkins. One of MIT's traditions is the green building pumpkin drop, in which around Halloween time every year, there is a group of students that get together and organize throwing liquid nitrogen frozen pumpkins off of the top of this very, very tall building as the 1812 Overture plays. It's another fun tradition. Alright, getting back down to the ground, you'll see this really strange black item in front of this patch of green called the dot. So typically this is the part on a tour where I'd explain why this sculpture exists. Across the way is usually the Charles River. So when the green building was originally being built, there was a problem with not being able to open the outward swinging doors because of all of the air that was coming off of the river in a breeze. So in an attempt to deflect it, MIT put up this sculpture which is called the sail. If you go look up some pictures of it, here's our closest approximation. In order to deflect the winds and allow the doors to be able to open. This did not work, so they instead installed revolving doors. Yeah. Inside the green building is another one of the large auditoriums on campus in which large classes are held, 54-100. So next up over here is Walker Memorial. This is a large space that hosts various different clubs on campus, student organizations, such as WMBR, which is our very own student radio. What else? The Rainbow Lounge, which supports LGBTQ plus students. Tech Mart, which is MIT's own sort of small grocery store. Dance Dance Revolution, a club that has their own DDR machine. And also various dance groups that have their spaces, as well as being the venue for certain events, and a very large area where many undergraduates take large exams. Alright, so we're coming up here towards what's known as East Campus. So these two parallel buildings are collectively referred to as East Campus, not to be confused with being east of campus, which this certainly is. Oops, I'm getting stuck in the antenna. Yeah. East Campus is one of MIT's 10 student undergraduate dormitories, consisting of 2 parallels with 5 floors each and having 10 very distinct, unique student cultures. East Campus students are known for being very diverse in interests and finding lots of creative expressions, outlets, and project creations, as well as certain communities that are held together on these floors. They're really passionate, really awesome people. I've had the great experience of being able to hang out with a lot of East Campus people in my time on campus, And yeah. So over here is the Media Lab and the List Visual Arts Center. So first over here is the Media Lab, as it's been recreated by actually some professors who do teach at the Media Lab. Yeah, which houses many interdisciplinary research groups. So yeah, over here is the List Visual Arts Center, where MIT has its own collection of art and various lab and office spaces relating to various different parts of media. Inside here, on campus anyway, also has the List Visual Arts program, in which, the List Visual Arts program, which has the Student Art Lending program, in which undergraduates and graduate students can request to borrow a work of art from the collection and keep it in their dorm room for the year. There is I think Picasso? Yeah, that is within the collection, so it's a really unique opportunity. So over here is an arch that is somewhat shaped like the Greek letter pi, 3.141592654? Yeah. An important number to many MIT students, as for undergraduates, it's the day that regular decision results traditionally release on, and used as a constant in various calculations and the like. Yeah, you'll see underneath that there is another example of a hack placed under here that is an entire living room, working space area placed completely upside down on the arch. Yeah, this is actually a real hack that did happen and is recorded in the book Nightworks, that has records of various different MIT hacks. As a little nod to real life, the arch is leaking a little bit of water, as it always does in real life anyway, due to the way that weather things collect. Okay, where am I going? Oops. So yeah, headed back around to campus. Spy. This is the building formerly known as Senior House. It's well before my time, but Senior House used to be a living community that was known for their logo and motto, Sport or Death, and featuring a skull motif and the like. Senior House was recreated by MIT alumni who found the project and really wanted to recreate their living space as they had it back in the day. These days, I think it's graduate housing, but it's been really neat to see how alumni have been really passionate about their community and come to show and recreate some of their spaces here in Minecraft, where we can build the campus we want to see. Alright, getting closer down to Memorial Drive, over in the distance are the Sloan buildings and the Entrepreneurial Center and various other buildings that have intended to be built up, which house things like the various econ and social science programs, as well as Building 14, which hasn't been built up yet either, that house many of our School of Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences. MIT students are required to take 8 humanities, arts, and social science classes throughout their time on campus as part of the General Institute requirements, along with general foundations in Calculus 1 and 2, physics, mechanics, electricity, magnetism, biology, chemistry, and I think that's it. So yeah, what we're looking at right now, though, is Gray House, which is the president's house, which is usually occupied by Raphael Reif, our current president. And here is Memorial Drive. So yeah, you'll see over here that there is also the sailing pavilion, as recreated by the MIT sailing team and other particularly inclined individuals. Yeah, part of the MIT curriculum is also taking 8 points, or around 4 classes worth, of PE classes before you can graduate, and a swim test. The swim test is purportedly 4 lengths of the Z Center pool, intended to be so that way if you fell into the Charles at any point, it's equivalent to roughly half the Charles, and you should be able to swim your way back. But we hope that never happens, and it hasn't happened in recent memory, but it still remains a graduating tradition. As for recent years, we'll see about that. Alright, so the MIT Pirates license, able to be an informal achievement in which is awarded to undergraduates who take 4 courses: sailing, pistol or rifle, 1 form of fencing, either epee, saber, foil, and archery. Thank you. So we'll be continuing now back down Memorial Drive and flying over campus. So I guess a little bit of admissions information for those of you curious that might be here looking for an admissions tour replacement, while we can't actually provide something for that. Academically, MIT students apply to the MIT undergraduate students apply to the institute as a whole, meaning that when you apply, you don't declare a major right away. In fact, it's towards the end of your freshman year, going into your sophomore year, that you formally declare yourself into a major and get a department in that way. People are really fluid, actually, with major requirements and minor requirements and the like, as people, undergraduate students, tend to find various different interests and things that they like and want to study throughout their time here. So yeah, MIT's academic fluidity and rigor at the same time are 2 of the things that attracted me here specifically. So yeah, running parallel to the infinite corridor that we were just down before is the Outfinite, as it's so called. This is a stretch of campus that was only recently opened, with the opening in 2018 of MIT Nano, the building that is now intended to house much of MIT's various research into nanofabrication and nanoelectronics, along with various partnerships with industry into these new lab spaces. The building's obviously not complete, as we're still a bit of a work in progress. But yeah, we are continuing. So yeah, over here is the back of Lobby 13, which connects to 10. This space, while also containing various different offices and lab spaces, the lobby will contain many different student groups, everything from informal lunches and events to, in the evening sometimes, the MIT ballroom dancing team, which practices here. Okay, so yeah, as we continue down the Outfinite, we have another relic of the MIT as we kind of left it. This is the Wright Brothers Wind Tunnel building, in which many people in the Aeronautics and Astronautics department were to test various research projects and some related academic things in this wind tunnel building. Since then, it's actually been going under reconstruction and renovation in recent times, but it still lives on in our Minecraft campus. Let's see. As to another fun little Easter egg I can show you, because we are in Minecraft. If we head down this corridor in this building. Oops. Doris. Yes. we are walking into the Unified Lounge, which is a lounge space for various students in Course 16, the Aeronautics and Astronautics Department, to work together as well as provide various machining workspaces and the like. So yeah, this space has actually been recreated with such detail by students in the program, including replicas of two of the instructors. This one is Todd, even if the label isn't showing up, and Dave in the corner. So yeah, fun little things that show how much we miss specific parts of campus. Alright, let me get out of here. So, let's see. In other terms of things, this is Building 9, the Samuel Tack Lee building, which contains many of the urban studies, planning, and design departments. Yeah, and as for academics, let's see. First year students have their first semester entirely on pass no record, meaning that they are able to not have grades effectively for the first semester as they're learning to adjust to MIT, and learn a lot about life here, which is often described as drinking out of a fire hose and its intensity and frequency. So yeah, now we're headed away from main campus over to West Campus, where a lot of student life things tend to cluster. So first off here is a little homage to The Alchemist, which is a statue that's typically made up of metal letters and numbers and various figures all welded together. There's a little sign on here that says "Welcome 2024s" in reference to a hack that was put up on The Alchemist shortly before we all had to depart campus, consisting of a face mask over where the alchemist's face would be, as this is normally supposed to be of a kneeling person. So yeah, over here is what's known as the Student Center, Building W20, which houses a lot of student facilities, as its name would imply. On the lower levels, there are things like a convenience store, Laverty's, the MIT Federal Credit Union, the Coop, which is our bookstore. Can I press this button to get inside? Oops. Coop, a bookstore, and a few places to eat, including a well-loved... I'm sorry, this is really hard. Yeah. A well-loved Dunkin' Donuts, Anna's Takiera, and various eateries on the second floor. This is also often used as an academic meeting space, hosts a variety of activities, and on the third floor there's even a space called the Coffee House Lounge, which is where various undergraduate and student groups will put on events during the typical year. So yeah, as we're heading upstairs, there's an elevator shaft here, because the stairs are not complete. The fourth floor of the Student Center typically contains a lot of various clubs and like, and here we are on the fifth floor. So yeah, usually this is a lounge space, including what's known as Stud 5, being on the fifth floor, a place where people like to work on P-sets, also known as problem sets, MIT homework, studying, and doing group collaboration. So this is the Student Information and Processing Board Office. This is the organization that formerly hosts the MIT Minecraft project and is a volunteer-run student basically information technology and computing service. SITB creates a lot of projects that benefit student life, and we're some of the early adopters of the Kerberos system, Athena, our computing environment, and these days we run projects like Minecraft, uplink scripts to help people run websites, and various other things that you can find out on the web. You just look up MIT SITB, sitb.mit.edu. There's a joke that says, yes, you may borrow a stapler, because there is traditionally a stapler out here that is able to be used by undergraduate students and students as a whole that are looking to hand in assignments and the like. The Athena and DEF CON little display out here is usually referring to the current state of the computing environment. So yeah, here's our cozy little cluttered office. And if we pop in over here to the mostly unfurnished student space, and just open the door. This is the server closet, including the server in which all of this is hosted on, technically, in real life. So yeah, if you were to go into this server closet, this is where Minecraft's being hosted. Woo! Alright, let's head out. There we go. So, heading back out. So yeah, a little bit of lounge space, some eateries and the like. And we can go on to out here onto Kresge Oval and Kresge Auditorium, which is the largest auditorium on campus, able to hold an entire class of MIT students. This is where freshmen will gather for orientation, sophomores will gather for ring premiere, which is the premiere of their class ring, also known as the brass rat, and I think seniors at some point for some senior activities. Yeah, this is also where various performing arts groups will perform their showcases, theater groups will perform their events and the like, and other large announcements and presentations. So yeah, here's the inside of Kresge. Well, Big Kresge, which is the larger upper auditorium. The lighting system in here is actually controlled by a nice system of levers and redstone and the like, as well as having a relatively detailed backstage area that many student performers know fondly of. And then downstairs is Little Kresge, which is a second, smaller, more intimate theater. So yeah, heading back outside, this large cylindrical building in the middle of campus is known as the MIT Chapel, which is a space that is used for religious worship by many different groups, including a bell tower on top, as recreated by some members of the community. So yeah, as we step inside, you can see the interior of the space as recreated by some people. Yeah, up in the rafters is the organ, and there's a little Easter egg down here in the corner, of which people have recreated All-Star by Smash Mouth and the Super Mario theme using blocks. Which is kind of cute. Yeah. Another fun little thing put in by students building up this space. Alright, and we're out. So next up over here is dorm row, where 8 of MIT's 10 undergraduate dorms are located all along Memorial Drive. So first up here is Fairboro's Massey Hall, which is one of the simultaneously oldest and youngest dorms on campus. Oldest as in it was one of the original old buildings in Cambridge. Which used to be a hotel, then soon became graduate housing known as Old Ashton House, and in 2011 was unveiled as Massey Hall. Yeah, it houses many undergraduate students in various suites and floor style living, as well as a dining hall, which is one of the few on campus. Next up is McCormick Hall, which is an all-girls dormitory that was built in the 1960s due to a donation by Kathleen McCormick from, in part, her husband Stanley McCormick's fortune, in order to ensure that women at the Institute would have a suitable dormitory to live on campus in. So yeah, there's various fraternities and sororities that also have their spaces along dorm row. Here is the beginnings of construction on Baker House, which was designed by a Finnish architect, Alto or something like that. Yeah. Most of the rooms in Baker have some sort of river view, as it was created in this winding shape in various suite and floor style living. Across the way, we also have the Z Center, which is the athletic center, containing an ice rink, basketball courts, archery ranges, pistol and rifle lounges, martial arts studios. There are spaces for club sports and varsity sports and a swimming pool and more facilities. There's a joke that surprisingly the gym is never empty in nerd school because, contrary to popular belief, there are a lot of MIT students who enjoy working out. There's also tennis courts here along dorm row, and an indoor tennis bubble with also fields for soccer, football, track, and other sports alike. So yeah, the next dorm is now Burton House over here, which is a dormitory that also is known for its various different floor cultures. As you'll see in the window, there are the letters DTYD, which stands for a party that members of the floor Burton 3, also known as the Bombers, annually host. As they weren't able to host their party this year, instead we allowed them to have a venue to host their party virtually with their trademark black and orange decorations, and we were able to provide some music thanks to a little tool we developed called proximity-based voice chat, which is pretty neat. So next up is McGregor House, which consists almost entirely of single rooms and are divided into various entries in both the high-rise building over here and low-rise areas as a cook-for-yourself community that are clustered into smaller things. McGregor was actually the first dorm to be recreated in Minecraft due to its modular ability to be recreated. So next up down here is New House, which is known for its various inter-house communities, including cultural houses for various different language and interest groups, including French house, German house, Spanish house known as La Casa, I house for people who are particularly devoted to international and social justice issues, and numbered houses, which all have their own various communities. And finally, at the end of the sidewalk is Next House, which was formerly known as 500 Memorial Drive. I personally spent a lot of time in Next House when I was on campus, and it's really known for its very nerdy, creative culture, with various wings, east and west per floor, divided into their own living groups. Right. Over here is Tang Hall, which is part graduate housing, and across the way, not technically on Dorm Row, but on on Vassar Street, directly facing Dorm Row is Simmons Hall, also known as the Sponge. The Sponge was opened in, I think, 2003, as Simmons Hall, known to be a bit of an architectural curiosity in not only its general porosity of style with various loads of windows and curvy walls on the interior, but also its lounge culture, in which students living in various different parts of the building can come together and form a friend group and their own living groups in this way. So yeah, I mentioned New Vassar. That is supposed to be one of the new dorms that is popping up also along Vassar Street, where there used to be a structure known as West Garage. For now, it's not represented on MIT Minecraft because none of us have been able to experience it, and it's still under construction, so that's for that. So, as we're heading back towards main campus, as we head back, Random Hall, which is MIT's smallest dormitory, holding only 93 students, but also offering various unique floor cultures in a small community style. So yeah, we are now back where we started, right here on 77 Mass Ave. Obviously, I probably didn't show you everything on campus, as there are still various different parts of campus that have not been built yet, and things that didn't fit into the tour loop, but I hope you enjoyed a little look into our Minecraft campus. If you've got any questions, you can direct them to the email sitby-minecraft-root@mit.edu, as it will be listed in the description. And you can connect for yourself at the address, as soon as I disconnect here, minecraft-tours.mit.edu, if you'd like to have your own little walk around of campus. So yeah, thank you for joining me as I just ranted to you about different parts of this project, and I hope you've enjoyed.